WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. A Town Square Media Station. One man to beat, you can forget about it. Touchdown, Alabama. Tide 100.9. Streaming to the Tide 100.9 HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that, I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to center and you playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. And you could pick up, you were starting to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and I running back fix things like that. biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston. You 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial, the Martin Houston Show fan page on Facebook. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and I am glad to be back with you after a week off. Thanks to all the guys and gals who made things continue, to my Facebook fam and friends, social media network. Hopefully you guys were able to tune in via our other sources from Facebook at Martin Houston Live or at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter or Live. Hopefully you to catch up with us on our Tide 109 app or tune in to the station on Tide 109. So, or of course the traditional way, the radio dial at 100.9. It is a beautiful Monday morning. I am so glad to be back with you and reminding you that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. So, man, good morning, Brian. How you doing, sir? Doing well, doing well. Looking forward to a great show and getting back into it. I take a week off and the whole world changes, man. So, so as we go through the playbook this week, we'll look at. I'll probably do some recaps and give my thoughts on some things that happened over the past week. Being that I did not get a chance to comment on the official acceptance of Texas and Oklahoma into the SEC. Also, some news coming out from that in terms of the NCAA constitutional convention scheduled in November. David Shaw making some interesting comments. If you can find that audio, I would love to because I want to give my thoughts on David Shaw, and a lot of people talking about the value of Alabama, but there were several things in there that kind of jumped out for me. Let me know when you get that particular audio. Also, Bama recruiting had a couple of big news, big shout outs in terms of getting a couple guys, an offensive lineman and and a local Alabama wide receiver. So we'll talk about that if you'd like to talk about what Bama got in those particular guys as well. And then, of course, NBA draft, a couple of those guys getting drafted and then other guys getting a chance. So we'll break that down as well. So any and all is on the table. So just want to invite you to get in on the conversation. And you may have something else that may be burning within you, maybe like Are you excited uh, about this Thursday's preseason game? Brian, are you watching? Are you going to be watching as the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the return of Dak and the birth or outcoming party of Mr. Najee Harris, who seems to be doing everything the right way up in Pittsburgh? So we can talk about that and what you're excited about. And while you're getting your phone lines ready, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. I want to throw out a poll question I have for you in regards to what's happening around the college world. And it's at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. Question of the day. With the recent changes, and there's quite a few of them, as I mentioned, SEC expansion, name, image, and likeness, transfer portal, relaxation, etc. The educational restrictions on educational benefits being lifted by the Supreme Court, and now the announced NCAA Constitutional Convention that's been announced in November. And you need to hear that constitutional convention. What do you see as the biggest change in college sports? I put about 4 options down, and you may have others. So I want to invite you to call us at the Taco Casa hotline at 205-9904, 205-342-9904. Give us a call and let us know what your thoughts may be. But here's 4 potential changes that I have. Separation of D1 from all other, meaning that you literally have the separation of D1 from D2 from D3, and it's governed separately. Football possibly being its own baby. I wanted to put football and basketball. You have some variation of some separation of the sports themselves. Is that a possibility that uh, football and basketball may become separate because they are revenue generating sports? And if it happens, what would that mean for the rest of college athletics? Is that something that you said is a possibility? Of course, conference realignment is going to happen. It may not be the biggest change. We've seen this, light coming down tunnel for quite a while. And so I would not expect for that train to turn around and stop anytime soon. And a lot of people are picking that, but I said the biggest change. To me, that wouldn't be that big of a surprise. That because it's already started. Paying of D1 athletes is another option that I had as well. Do you see that coming down the road? You can go to at Martin Houston 35, and that's an option as a possibility. And I'm telling you that there's other options there. There's the possibility of even splitting D1 uh, into have-nots. In other words, we end up with maybe 4 possible conference realignments, and 4 major conferences once all the realignment is set. That's a possibility. So there's quite a few options. You may have some other things that you've thought of and thought about. When you look at what Mark Emmert said, this is huge, Brian. We went to break.
Give us a call, 205-886-8886. It's a brand new month with brand new deals at your hometown dealer.
Do what now? Hold on.
Real estate market is always tough, but this market,
Can you hear me now?
Hold on one second.
Plus premium.
Also
Yes.
forgot
Terms and conditions.
Tuscaloosa weather. The weather not as hot today. A mixture of clouds and sunshine with a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. The high 85. For tonight, becoming mostly fair with the low at 64. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. A small chance of a shower. The high 86. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3240 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 74 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith of Sophomore Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email Scott@s at Comcast.net and visit them online at sophmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, 3, 2.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. We're going to have that David Shaw audio here in just a moment as we get back into things. I was asking Brian a quick question before we went to break there. With the NCAA announcing, has Mark Emmert and company finally realized where they're at with the constitutional convention scheduled later this fall? He says this is not about tweaking the model we have now. This is about wholesale transformation so we can set a sustainable course for college sports for decades to come. We need to stay focused on the thing that matters most, helping students be as successful as they can as both students and athletes. We'll talk more about that conference and what that means in terms of the future of college athletics. Brian, have they finally realized that the writing's on the wall, barring some type of major realignment of the way they do things?
Honestly, I don't think that's the case. I think it's just the fact that Mark Emmert and the NCAA realizes that if they don't jump on and support what everyone's doing right now, then their accountability is going to go even lower than it already is. So they're just having to jump on popular opinion by now. I don't think that they actually believe in it.
Well, sometimes belief is a very interesting thing. Sometimes you believe because you come to a realization that it's the right thing, and sometimes you realization that if I don't do, then I am going to go the way of the dinosaur. And the NCAA has definitely found themselves in that situation when it comes to governing college. And I think that there are going to be major changes. Last week, before it was official, I made the statement that Texas Oklahoma move, as crazy as name, image, and likeness is, as crazy as the transfer portal is, as crazy as the unlimited educational benefits is. I didn't think any of them would have as big an impact or not as big a change as Texas and Oklahoma. And with all of that said, whether it was the straw that broke the camel's back or it was the log that broke the camel's back, the Texas and Oklahoma definitely has got some folks stirred up and got the NCAA making some changes and some moves. And of course, the commissioner of the Big 12, Bob Bowlesby, says that he is going to keep Oklahoma in the Big 12 for years. Truth or wishful thinking?
It's wishful thinking. I mean, I think it was Jacob that said it on Friday, but at this point, Texas and Oklahoma is like, it's like living with your girlfriend, and then you two break up, and then you have to live in the same house. Like it's not, you're gonna leave, and I don't think it's gonna be, but it's definitely gonna come sooner than 2025.
Well, and I would probably say it's even stronger than that. I'd probably say it's you living with your wife and your two of you break up because there has been do what now?
Texas and Oklahoma are the Big 12.
Correct. That's what I mean. That's what.
Essentially losing their identity.
Yeah, I mean they have been the only representation pretty much. Oklahoma State almost got there one time on the big boy stage. Because now the reason I think his wishful thinking is not just because Texas Oklahoma is wanting to leave. If you are the other 8 teams that are in the Big 12, right? What Well, let's just think logic about what is Oklahoma State doing right now. If they're looking at the college landscape and they see that Texas and Oklahoma is gone, Oklahoma State, TCU, pretty much become ways of maybe Baylor, right? Iowa State is. I mean, if I was looking to hire an up and coming coach, I Matt Campbell from Iowa State, but I would not take the program of Iowa State to go compete for a national championship. But I'd take their coach and think I could build a national champion. So that's kind of the top dogs in that conference as a whole, and they're looking around and they're probably going, I'm not going to wait to 2025 to find out where I'm going. If I'm their athletic director, if I'm their president, I'm looking for a conference that fits me better than the 12 right now. So I don't think the problem is going to be whether um, the excuse me, I don't know that Texas and Oklahoma is the one that's going to dissolve the league within the 4 years, Brian. I think it's as much those other guys trying to find a place to land, because you don't want to be the last guy trying to find a place to land in this realignment.
I mean, I heard rumors the day that it must have been like Tuesday or Wednesday last week that Kansas was looking at the Big Ten, and then later on in the week you start hearing rumors that the American Athletic Conference is going to try to make a run at some of the teams.
Kansas situation because of being a good fit for basketball. I'd heard that Kansas was well on their way looking to try to get to the conference. I mean, to that conference for that. They won't bring much on the football side, but they would be a huge hit from a basketball standpoint. And you know, and I've heard people blame the ESPN for this, but the ESPN model is probably what drove this as much as anything from a money standpoint. Uh, ESPN was like, "Hey guys, Big 12, you're not worth that much, and the only 2 teams that's really worth anything from a more than a Texas or Oklahoma regional topic is Texas and Oklahoma." And the money that they could garner by JC is huge, and that means that the value of the Big 12, which would be 8 teams, is virtually nil to nothing. Um, okay, let's think about this, Brian. If you're the Big 12, where do you go to survive?
You don't. You dissolve because that's the only reasonable outcome I can see happening for the Big 12. The Big 12 will be dead in 5 years, less than probably.
You repeat that last part. That'll be done.
Big 12 will be dead in 5 years at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, who do they? I mean, like I'm looking at it and going, okay, if you had Texas and Oklahoma and realignment started, you might could survive as the Big 12. You might could survive because you're already behind everybody because you only have 10 teams, right? At 14 already, right? Am I mistaken about that? They have 10 teams. Yeah, the Big 12.
The only Power 5 conference with 10 teams.
And it has what? 15? So you find everybody else. So if there is this big push for conference realignment, if you had Texas and Oklahoma in the conference, you would be struggling to be a legit conference in an expansion to survive. And I mean that would be where they would go. And the American Conference bolsters itself by adding some former Big 12 teams, but Big 12 teams would not bolster itself by the American Conference team. So it's just an interesting time for the Big 12. I don't think they survive at all. The question is, how many years will they limp through and try to fight this? I actually think that the SEC will pay some conference games out. Will pay some uh, termination fees. I think ESPN will get behind it, and you're going to see Texas and Oklahoma competing in the SEC before the 2025 date. And Bowlesby will probably run for Mark Emmert job and blame him for allowing this to happen. So either way, it's going to be a very, very interesting process. Once again, I want to remind you that I have a poll question up at Martin Houston 35. Love to get your thoughts on with all of the changes and the big constitutional convention coming up. What do you see as the biggest change that's going to hit college football? Are we going to have players paid in the coming years? Will that be the biggest change? What about conference realignment? We see that is absolutely happening. But is that going to be the biggest change? Is that going to be a shocker at all? Will we separate D1 from D2, D3, and all of those be separate? Or will we even have that separation on top of D1 super conferences themselves? Will they separate in terms of their governance, but still be providing money to the universities to help support the other sports that they currently support? There's a lot of changes coming. There was a big change. Joe, I'm sorry, Bryant. This is just a quick sidebar. You know, they said name, image, and likeness is going to ruin college football. I mean, college sports. That's been one of the things. Do you think that, and of course, this is not a sport that I'm saying we all watch a lot, but one of my thoughts was that we may see some guys come back who are third year going into their fourth year guys, marginal guys coming back to play their senior year. Did Olympian Sonny Lee show us that this name, image, and likeness may actually help college sports, as the Auburn commit who won the gold medal and has won at least one gold medal and secured a couple other medals in the current Olympics, deciding that she is going to still enroll in Auburn instead of turning pro. And that gold medal typically is worth millions of dollars as a professional once she turns professional. So, are we seeing the impact of name, image, and likeness on the gymnastics? But will we see that same type of impact potentially in the football, baseball, basketball world?
I mean, I think so because I mean, before the Olympics, Sunny Lee had like 750,000 followers on Instagram, and now she has like over a million. Her popularity has grown tenfold.
Yep.
She might be, in terms of NIL deals, the highest paid Auburn athlete this upcoming school year. Honestly, like she is an American household name now.
Right.
I mean, she's famous, and that gold medal did wonders for her brand. And now she's going to be getting sponsorships from, you know, Gatorade and Nike and Under Armour and every company that can
watch this.
That sponsor an athlete is going to try to sponsor her because I mean she's the headlines. Right?
How long before remember who's the head of Apple?
Oh, Tim Cook, yeah.
Yeah, Auburn graduate. So does Apple sign her to a $3-4 million deal? Because and I'm going to use this to set up David Shaw's statement that we'll play coming back out of the break, Bryant. David Shaw said that it's really just about the guys who, with their have a guaranteed at the NFL that's going to get the name, image, and likeness deal because they may not get their money back, right? Yeah, we'll see if that's the case, and I'll tell you why I think he is missing the whole point if he thinks that's who's going to get the deals at the college level. There's several reasons why, and maybe Miss Sunny Lee shows us right off the bat why that is wrong. And if you don't know who she is, she just won gold in the Olympics. She is right now one of the most popular, well-known athletes, not just in the Southeast, not just in Auburn, but in the world right now. She is picking up, as you said, she's picked up probably 250,000 or so followers in a week. And that's only going to continue to grow as the story keeps being told. And if you were her sponsor right now, what would you be getting? How much free publicity would you be getting without even doing anything to promote it? Because she has a brand. I can tell you this, Bryant. I still know who Mary Lou Retton is, and you probably don't, but but she was an Olympic name, and that's the key. Is she was an Olympic name that happened when I was younger, just like all of you guys that know her now. If Apple decides to sign her, even though they can't sign a 6-year deal or a 10-year deal, when she graduates from college, that knows her now, when they re-sign her, right? So they can go ahead.
I was just saying, oh yeah. I mean, like it's right now you're buying low whenever you're buying low,
right?
In it for the massive like raise it's going to have her stock of popularity.
Correct. All right. Well, let's come back. Let's get the break here. Coming back on the other side, we'll have that David Shaw comment about Alabama value. I think David Shaw is missing on name, image, and likeness. I think there may have been a little not surprisingly actually, but a little bit of animosity there within his comments. If you've not heard them, we'll talk about them here. If you have heard them, I'd like to get your thoughts on them, and I'll give you my perspective on David Shaw's comments about not market value, but Alabama value.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, a good Monday morning to you. Traffic fairly light with a bit of congestion on McFarland at US 43 in Northport. If you see conditions, of course, give us a call. 205-886-8886. It's a brand new month with brand new deals at your hometown dealer. Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service. Hey, Martin.
Yeah, hold on.
Express Wash. OverflowExpressWash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
With Taco Casa, it's not really fast food because it's made fresh every day in the store. The quality hasn't changed. The consistency hasn't changed because we haven't changed anything in the food. It's made fresh locally sourced and high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great.
Hey, also, I was going to tell you.
Hold on.
John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com, that's peptalks35.com, or send an email
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Trying to get some things situated on this side. Not able to hear the audio on my side, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and get Pat while we work through that. Brian, could we go ahead and bring Pat in? Pat, you're in. Pat's gone. So, Pat, give us a buzz back. And that worked out. We'll try to get that David Shaw audio. I don't have all the details of it, but just a couple things that stood out to me from the David Shaw audio. One of those things being him talking about the whole market value of Alabama value versus um, market value. Um, I'm in the business world, and isn't that the way capitalism works, Bryant? That market value is kind of a composite of who, what, where, and how things kind of come together. Um,
Yeah, things have to even themselves out, and if that means that the first year of NIL players are getting paid, several $1 million, and it's not what needs to be happening, then over the next few years it's all going to even itself out, and then you're going to find the true market value whenever it lowers down to what it should be.
or it could raise up. I mean, he says it like he said that's Alabama value. Well, I mean, that would be like saying that's the Dallas Cowboys value. Dak Prescott would not be making $40 million a year if he was not with the Dallas Cowboys, right? I mean, if he was in Cincinnati, would he get $40 million? Part of the reason he's getting that money is because the Dallas Cowboys brand, and he's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, right? The guys with the Yankees make more than the guys with the Indians or the Guardians, right? Am I wrong? Am I confused about what happens in capitalism and in the real world? Is that it's the company? In other words, uh, you and I work in the radio business, right?
Yes, sir.
If we do the same thing in the Tuscaloosa market that someone's doing in the New York market, do we make the same money as they do?
No, because it's not New York City.
It's not. It's there's more value to being in New York than there is in Tuscaloosa, and you could be better in Tuscaloosa. But the market, and so when I hear him say, "Oh well, it's the Alabama brand," yes, it's the Alabama brand. Nick Saban in the University of Alabama have built the script A. Nick Saban himself, Brian, I was at an event a few weeks back. He said the script A is an iconic brand. And he himself said at this meeting, it's on the same level with with the Yankees and the stars of the Cowboys. Okay? When you see the script A, you know what it stands for. Well, that's part of the brand. Let Robert hold on. Pat, call back. Let's see if we can get that audio to play this time. Let me know when you go ahead and hit fire it up if it's ready.
Was quoted as saying that his quarterback Bryce Young is near seven figures in NIL deals. Just what's your gut reaction when you hear those kind of numbers?
My gut reaction is in multiple levels. First of all, Nick Saban is smarter than any 10 of us in this room combined. And so there's no way that was just a throw in. It is obvious to me. Nick wanted to plant that and make sure people knew that. It's a great way to recruit people to come to you, which the guy hasn't started a college football game and he's already signed a whole bunch of deals to make money.
To me, I don't think that's what this whole thing is supposed to be about. I don't believe that that is true market value. I think that's Alabama value, but that's not market value for an individual, which was what this is supposed to be about. I'm not saying it's wrong. In my mind, when I look at this, it is a combination of your personality, who you are, and what you've accomplished in order to create opportunities for yourself. And that to me is kind of putting the cart before the horse. And it's all legal. It's fine now. Nick mentioning that at the media day is a great way to kickstart your recruiting, especially if you're recruiting another high caliber quarterback, as we all know that they are. So it wasn't accidental. Many of us around college football just kind of shrugged our shoulders and said, "Is this really what we want to be doing?" I wonder about the people who are engaging in high value deals like that. I know a lot of business people, and I wonder what their return is on that investment. That's a major investment. That's a high dollar value investment. What are they getting back from that? Because over time, that's not a wise thing to do business wise, is to give a college athlete a whole bunch of money if you're not getting anything in return. So as many people, I kind of chuckled when I saw that. There will be very few people around the country that have those opportunities. And I wonder too, after this era right now, this year where these things happen, if people will continue to do that going forward. Because I still wonder, what do you get back from giving a student athlete a whole bunch of money? Does that help your business? If it does, great. But if that's not a great business model for you, then how is that sustainable? So that's part of what we all knew was going to happen. There are going to be a few of those stories over this year. My guess is there will be fewer of those stories in the following year. There will be more, in particular, those juniors and seniors that are established, that have a chance to go on and do something beyond college football. Those to me are the ones that will have those deals, not guys that haven't started the game yet.
All right. I think he drank just about the whole glass, Bryant, of Haterade.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird that he is comparing the happiness of sports fans in Palo Alto, California, versus Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where Alabama football players are essentially
Okay.
like A-list celebrities.
Watch this. If I get a degree from Stanford, what does that do for job opportunities?
They go through the roof. I mean,
Why? Because
great college.
Because of what Stanford had, the reputation, whether it's true or not, whether a kid from Stanford is smarter than a kid from Tuscaloosa or not, it doesn't matter, right? It's that cardinal degree from Stanford will get you most of the time more money than, a better job, a better opportunity, all things being equal, than a degree from Tuscaloosa because of the investment. So is that market value that happens at Stanford? Yes. And so is this is market value. Let's get to Robert. And I have a whole list of things that I'm gonna knock down. But Robert, you're welcome into the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I greatly question the degrees from Ivy League schools or the Stanfords of the world these days. But just to your point, being a better degree, I'm seeing a lot of people in there, and I'm not real impressed.
But I'm not saying. That's why I said perceived or real. It doesn't matter that it's real or perceived. Or perceived. If businesses will hire you because of that, then it's real. It doesn't matter if it's worth anything more. It doesn't matter that the kid from ABC school may be 10 times smarter. It's when they look down and they're making a decision on a piece of paper, and one has Stanford across the top, and one has Auburn or Georgia. It just, and then it's in the same field. That one from Stanford is going to carry more weight. Just like if a business is looking at Alabama and Stanford in football, the kid that's playing quarterback at Alabama is going to be worth more than the kid playing quarterback at Stanford.
Right, that was the point I was going to try to get to.
Yeah.
Is, you know, like I question it, but like you said, it's like you said, what the value is for that particular individual. And I think Lane Kiffin is confusing a market value for an individual value. For your listeners out there, the market value is like gasoline. Right now, I had to pay $28.85 for a gallon of gasoline. And that's the market value right now. I can't go to another station and pay significantly less. I can go or a huge amount higher. That's the average market value. Now, unfair market value is when the hurricane's coming through and everybody's scrambling for gas, and all of a sudden this station wants to jack their price of $5 a gallon. Well, that's not fair market value. You didn't jack the price up because the value of gas overall went up. You're just gouging me and everyone right now. That's an unfair market value.
Right.
This case of Bryce Young, the Mona Lisa, as a painting. What painting? It was worth millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. Well, that's a fair market value for the Mona Lisa. If I paid to do a painting, guess what I'm not going to get? $100 million.
Right.
Market value for my painting.
Well,
So the idea that that's the fair market value is, well, this is number one. How do you know what the fair market value is? Because this is unprecedented right now.
It's what people. Let me tell you what it is. It's what people pay for it. That's what market value is. That's what market value is. He may have a kid on his team that one business owner falls in love with, that pays him more than Bryce Young and everybody. We were just talking about the Miss Lee, Sun Lee young lady that's going to Auburn. The fact that Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple and she's a gold medal winner may make her the highest paid college athlete on any campus anywhere in the world. Not because she is worth more than valued in Bryce Young or ABC player, but simply because of Tim Cook, Apple, and gold medal. And that combination, that's what was so interesting, Robert. And I need to go out to break out. I'll let you respond to this. He said, name, image, and likeness is about the combination of the value and the opportunity you create yourself. Okay, Bryce Young worked his butt off in high school to be the number one recruit in the nation. He signed with the number one team in the country. He's the starting quarterback after playing 22 snaps in being in front of the other guys. That is the combination that he has put together and created this value. I'm like, Shaw, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. I thought it was about the combination that he created. He did create. So I'll let you respond, and I have to get the break.
Yeah, I mean, of course he's not talking about both sides. I think after he listened to himself talk on the replay of that, he knew he was talking out of both sides of his mouth, and it made absolutely no sense what he said.
And he shot himself in the foot.
What is coming getting for Bryce Young? It's like what they think is they're getting more recognition for what their product is selling, which is what they get from Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, that they get from Michael Jordan. You think that they get anything else from Bryce Young other than that? And so that whatever insinuation he was putting in, I have no idea, is what do you think they're getting? They think this is worth it for it. That's why they're paying.
Right.
It's not one company. It's multiple companies anyway. So
yeah.
Well, you know that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's okay. We do that.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Thanks, Robert. All right. Hey, I'm going to take what Robert just said. What are they getting in return? ROI. What's great about America, or it used to be great about America, is capitalism. And not everybody gets the same toy, and not everybody gets the same trophy, and not everybody gets the same reward. And now for the first time, we're seeing that applied to college athletics. That's the only difference. This is not new, people. People getting paid and you and I having an opinion that it's not worth it has always happened. Overpaying, underpaying, or being valued or devalued or undervalued has been a part of American culture forever. And that's in college sports. We'll talk about a couple other things that he did in those words and those statements that I think hurts him and also shows that he doesn't really understand what name, image, and likeness is all about.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks. Traffic seems to be moving well. Now, we do see some
custom curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb Series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing LLC.
With Taco Casa, it's not really fast food because it's made fresh every day in the store. The quality hasn't changed. The consistency hasn't changed because we haven't changed anything in the food. It's made fresh every morning in every restaurant. I think buzzwords in today's food industry are locally sourced and high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974. Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up, there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Three, two.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It's now time for the Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning. Go to alabamaoneinsurance.com, where we promise at Alabama One Insurance that we will review your policies, reduce your premiums, and you can relax knowing that you're properly covered. Man, that David Shaw audio, there's so much to get into there, and I'm sure I'll carry that conversation over with DC Capstone Report on tomorrow. He talked about a lot of the coaches shrugged their shoulders. Nick Saban intentionally did it. Of course he did. It's about recruiting. Duh, David Shaw. And what you did was sound like I'm a player that's looking at Stanford. I'm like, is my coach going to be supportive of the name, image, or is he hoping that it returns to the way it used to be? So to me, he hurt himself. Opportunity. Also, excuse me, when you look at what happened with David Shaw, Bryant, boosters have been given money for how long? Right? Boosters have been given money.
Yes.
Yeah. So boosters have given money under the table with no value, right? And he's going, why would they do it? Some of these people have so much money. You know that some people just want to say they're associated with these players. That's why boosters do it, so that they can be friends with these players. And they used to get no value for it. Now at least they get a return on their investment. It's like this. If Bryce Young becomes a great star, wouldn't you rather have signed him and just started a relationship with him when he was worth, say, like Apple a few years ago, or maybe Amazon? Somebody could have signed Tom Brady when he was at Michigan, and now that relationship would be paying big dog. I know the contracts can't carry over, but the relationships can. And if he thinks that just signing a guy for 1 or 2 years in college is the way this is going to work, he's totally wrong. I'm looking at guys who are coming out of high school. I'm looking to sign Arch Manning. I'm looking to sign these guys that are going to give me 3 solid years at low market value, but big time return. Bryce Young has been talked about more than any college athlete out there. Everyone who signed him is going to get market value, just like those who signed Miss Lee from Auburn as a gold medal gymnast. We have a lot more to get to. Trying to catch up on a week of being out. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel at 205-342-9904, The Martin Houston Show, your team. And remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide and have a blessed day.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.